This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history. Australia bans, and they're wonderful people and wonderful everything, but they ban American beef, yet we imported $3 billion of Australian beef from them just last year alone. They won't take any of our beef. They don't want it because they don't want it to affect their farmers. And you know what? I don't blame them, but we're doing the same thing.
US President Donald Trump has declared April 2nd, 2025 as Liberation Day, announcing sweeping new tariffs on foreign imports, including Australian goods, as part of his aggressive push to rebalance global trade. The immediate effect: a 10% tariff slapped on all Australian exports to the US, with Australian beef, one of our most valuable exports, potentially facing even tougher restrictions. The United States is one of Australia's largest trading partners, with key exports including beef, $4 billion in 2024, precious stones and metals, $2 billion, pharmaceuticals, $1.4 billion, medical apparatus, $1.2 billion, heavy machinery, $1 billion.
A reciprocal tariff would be zero, not 10%. The administration's tariffs have no basis in logic, and they go against the basis of our two nations partnership. This is not the act of a friend. Today's decision will add to uncertainty in the global economy, and it will push up costs for American households. It is the American people who will pay the biggest price for these unjustified tariffs.
With tariffs now in place, Australian exporters will face higher costs, making it harder to compete in the US market. The meat industry, in particular, could be hit hard, as much of Australia's beef exports go into McDonald's hamburgers, potentially driving up prices for American consumers. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called the tariffs unwarranted and not the act of a friend, stressing that Australia has no tariffs on US imports and that true reciprocity would mean no tariffs at all. Despite the harsh words, Albanese confirmed Australia would not impose retaliatory tariffs, refusing to engage in a race to the bottom.
Our shared history, our friendship, our alliance, these are all bigger than a poor decision. But the Australian people have every right to view this action by the Trump administration as undermining our free and fair trading relationship and counter to the shared values that have always been at the heart of our two nations' long-standing friendship.
The tariffs are part of Trump's broader push to pressure trading partners into making concessions. The US has long been frustrated by Australia's strict biosecurity laws, which restrict imports of US beef, pork, poultry, and apples due to disease concerns. Trump's announcement suggests he may be using tariffs as a bargaining chip to force Australia into opening its markets to more US agricultural products, something Canberra has firmly resisted. Meanwhile, the tariffs have sparked global concerns, with China, South Korea, and Japan considering a joint response to what they see as an economically damaging trade war. For now, Australian exporters will have to absorb the costs or pass them on to consumers, making it harder to compete in the US. While the Albanese government refuses to retaliate, the long-term impact on the Australia-US alliance remains uncertain. As Trump pushes his America First agenda, Australia may have to navigate an increasingly protectionist US trade policy, one that could reshape our economic relationship with Washington for years to come.
Australia's exports to the United States represent about under 5% of our goods exports. Okay, so let's have some perspective here about standing up for Australia's national interest.